we are starting 3.7, which is going to talk about absolute value. And today, part 1 is equations. Today we're talking about equations, so they just have an equal sign. We don't have to worry about interval notation or graphing or anything like that. They all have an equals in the middle. So now who can give me a definition of what absolute value means? What is it, Caden? Okay. So what's the actual definition? Do we know? Okay. So, we will be having vocab on Friday this week. Okay? I wanted to get through a couple more sections so that the words didn't sound like totally foreign to us. You know what I mean? All right, absolute value. The technical definition is it's the distance from 0. So distance always has to be a positive number. So if you're at -5, that distance from 0 is 5, right? If you're at +5, that distance from 0 is 5. So there's always today going to be 2 answers. Anytime you have an absolute value, there's 2 possible answers. All right, so here's how it's going to look. If I have the absolute value of x equals, and we're just going to call it a. A can be any number we're talking about. You have to actually write 2 equations. I lost my E. There we go. We have to write 2 equations. The first one is going to be x equals the negative of this number. And the second one is x equals the positive of that number. So we always have 2 of them. So here is example number 1. Start off super, super easy. Example 1, which is 1 and 2 on the worksheet. Super easy. If I have the absolute value of b equals 7, since this absolute value is by itself, I can say that b equals -7 and b equals +7. That's it. Okay? So let's take it one step further. How about example number 2? This is going to be 3 and 4 on the worksheet. Let's say I have the absolute value of, I don't know, x plus 5 is equal to 4. So the absolute value itself is all by itself. So we can write 2 equations. The first one, we take what's inside the absolute value, x plus 5, and we set it equal to the negative of our number. The second one is the x plus 5, and we set it equal to the positive of our number. Well, now we got to solve it. So subtract 5 from both sides. Our first answer is -9. Subtracting 5 from both sides, we get -1. And if you were to take either one of those and plug them back in, for example, if I plug -9 back in here for x, -9 plus 5 is -4, but the absolute value of -4 is +4, right? So it works. That one was easy? Good. Example number 3 then. Oh no, we got a little ways to go yet. It's a good try though. Let's say I have the absolute value of 2x minus 4 is equal to 10. Again, that absolute value is all by itself, so we can break it into two equations. So we have 2x minus 4 equals what? Negative 10. And the second one, 2x minus 4 equals positive 10. Now we got to solve both of those little itty bitty equations. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides on my first one. I get 2x is equal to negative 6. Dividing both sides by 2, and x is equal to negative 3. Second one, add 4 to both sides. I get 2x is equal to 14. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 7. So again, anytime there's an absolute value, you're going to have two answers. Okay? Now, here's the next thing I want to talk about. Did you notice every one of these, what I said, was the absolute values all by itself, so we can write two equations. So what if it's not? So I want you to put a little star in your notes and say, before you can write the two equations, the absolute value must, and I'm going to have you underline the word must, be by itself. So here's example number 4. Which is pretty much the rest of the thing, but let's kind of break it down into 5 through 14. No, we'll go 5 through 14. Then we're done. I want to do a couple examples for this, and then we'll be good. So let's say I have the absolute value of, I don't know, w minus 3 plus 7 is equal to 12. So is that absolute value by itself? No. So I have to get it by itself before I can split it up. So the first thing I have to do is subtract 7 to the other side. So I have the absolute value of w minus 3 is equal to 5. Now is the absolute value by itself. So now I can go ahead and split it into 2. W minus 3 equals negative 5, and w minus 3 equals positive 5. Solving the first one, I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So I have w is equal to negative 2. Over here, I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and w is equal to 8. All right, let's add one more thing. How about this one? Example number 5. What if I had 2 absolute value, 2x plus 4 is equal to 20? Is the absolute value by itself? Okay. So in this case, we have to divide by 2. There are not parentheses. We can't distribute it in. All right, I want you to think of those lines with the absolute value as like jail cell. Like they're bars you can't get into. All right, so you can't distribute in. So that means we have to divide by 2. And whatever we do to this side, we have to do to this side. So it leaves me with the absolute value of 2x plus 4 is equal to 10. Now that the absolute value is by itself, we can split it into 2. I have 2x plus 4 is equal to negative 10, and I have 2x plus 4 is equal to positive 10. First one, subtract 4 from both sides. We get 2x is equal to negative 14. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals negative 7. Over here, subtract 4 from both sides. 2x is equal to 6. Divide both sides by 2, and x equals 3. Any questions? All right, so I want 2 more quick examples. One a little bit longer, and then one really, really fast one. And that's it. So example number 6. All right, because I got to put it all together, because you have a couple where it's all put together. Say I have 6 times the absolute value of 6x minus 4 plus 1 is equal to 13. So now this time, what do I have to do to get this absolute value by itself? Good. First, we have to subtract 1, and then, yes, we have to divide by 6. So subtracting 1 from both sides, I have 6 times the absolute value of 6x minus 4 is equal to 12. Then we have to divide both sides by 6. So we have the absolute value of 6x minus 4 is equal to 2. Is the absolute value by itself now? So we can split it into 2. The first one is 6x minus 4 equals negative 2. And the other one is 6x minus 4 equals positive 2. Solving the first one, we have to first move our number to the right. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. So 6x is equal to 2. Divide both sides by 6. We get x is equal to 1/3. We can have a fraction. It is okay. We have a couple fractions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fractions today. Just so you know. We're adding 4 to both sides here. We get 6x equals 6. Divide by 6, and we get x equals 1. All right, so any questions at all? All right, so I need to talk about this last example. This is special. Example 7. If I have the absolute value of, 3x plus 1 plus 4 equals 1. First, I have to get the absolute value all by itself, right? So I got to subtract 4 from both sides. Gives me the absolute value of 3x plus 1 is equal to negative 3. Can an absolute value ever equal negative 3? No. So this is no solution. So if when you get the absolute value by itself, it's equal to a negative number, no solution. Okay? Which, hint, hint, there might be one. I'm not telling you that.